she was dating my sister.
Oh my
And they were
goodness!
roommates?
They were.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, while they're announcing that you're live, I'll do the recap real quick. We'll get that started. So, last we left off, you had some downtime in the city. Everyone has gone and done their shopping. Yorglot's session is also now on YouTube for those that want to see Yorglot's sort of solo shopping session and what he has done. Everyone's placed their orders for their magical items. People are now working on downtime activities like learning something from the alchemist or training with the town's guard. Everybody sort of has their downtime activities. Some are also reading books, others are working with their bear. So that is where we left off. It's been kind of like a relatively inactive few days because they're all sort of prepping and getting ready for this new quest that they've been given by both Caleb and the individual from the tavern that you do not yet know the name of, that wish to have you do something within the palace. The individual in the tavern asked you to try to rescue her friend, and Caleb asked you to kill the Sultan. And the party now has decided that they should probably take on this request, and so that is where we had left off. So getting right into things then, we had ended the last day, so the next day rolls around. It's going to be Ares and Valzor up first for kind of getting through the downtime and just finishing everything. I'm actually going to just have you make the next 4 days total worth of checks for training. So, Valzor and Ares, Valzor, you first, go ahead and make 4 different attack rolls to hit with your lance.
Okay. So that's the first one. 17. And then next one, 8. Second to last, 18. And the very last one, 18 again.
Okay. So, through your training with the individual, the mounted lance wielder that was an expert of using lances within the town's guard, you have learned that wielding a lance does not require nearly as much strength as it initially entailed. It feels like you are getting closer to being able to use finesse to wield them, as it's much less about brute force swinging it and you jabbing it, and more about just positioning it and letting the enemy fall upon it. And you feel with a bit more training, perhaps not in this town, but maybe later, just on your own, you'll be able to potentially start using your lances with your dexterity rather than your strength. But for now, you have an advantage on perception or other forms of checks to try to determine if an enemy has a weakness to your lance at all. Doesn't necessarily mean that they do, but if you're curious if an enemy does, you can make, for example, a perception check to see if you can find any weak points on a creature.
Cool.
Ares, for you, I need you to go ahead and make 2 dexterity checks and 2 charisma checks for me.
Okay, 2 decks. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So what do I have to roll?
So 2 just generic dexterity checks and 2 just generic charisma checks.
Okay.
Yeah, you already rolled 1 dex check.
So 7 and 8. And then a 2 dex and a what throw?
Then 2 charisma.
2 charisma. Okay. Oh, say 9 and. Oh man, a 3.
Oh,
You had rolled this straight. I was actually going to treat that as a like natural 20.
That hurt.
Okay. So 7, 8, 9, and 3. It feels like the training that he is doing with you, it feels like it fits well with being an assassin. It feels like your brand of rogue could really adapt to it. You're just struggling to put it into practice right now. He is trying to teach you how he's able to just disappear into shadow and reappear at will. And he was hoping that you'd be able to just pick it up and be able to start doing it as he does. But for now, all you have managed to do is be able to bend the shadows to sort of cover you a little bit. So once per day, whenever you want to, you can retroactively use the shadows to give yourself advantage on a stealth roll that you have already failed. So as compared to normally having to use it beforehand, if you screw up and you roll low on stealth, you can kind of save yourself and try to roll again.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. That was very easy.
Alright. So then we are going to jump over to Renine. You were trying to learn a cantrip, yes?
Hey.
So you were continuing to read that book, so just go ahead and make 2 more Arcana checks for me to see how smoothly this process goes over the next few days of study.
14 and a 6.
I'm kind of glad today's going to be a shorter session, because if these are going to be your rolls going into the palace, everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But that being said, as you are reading through the book, you do struggle a little bit on the last day as it starts to get a little bit repetitive, and it almost feels tediously so, but it's more just trying to nail in the basics to make sure that it's ingrained into your memory, as a cantrip is different from preparing a spell where you can refresh it. You can kind of review it in your book and have it again. Cantrips are more innate, and so it has to make sure that you have this permanently memorized. But you grasped the concept of it rather quickly, and with that you were able to learn the cantrip that you were hoping to learn, which, if memory suits me correctly, was Thunderclap?
No, shocking grasp.
Shocking Grasp. Okay. And then, so you've gotten Shocking Grasp. I will add that to you, but for now you can just note that you have completed your training. Then we will jump over to Reyna real quick as well. Was there anything with Bear in particular that you wanted to work on now that you were commissioning armor and a saddle and all of that for him?
Can Bear have a move?
Hmm?
Can Bear learn something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Bear could learn something if you're trying to learn something for Bear.
What would it be?
I mean, yeah, that all depends on what you want him to do. You can train him to fill whatever role you think Bear should fill. You can train Bear to be support. You could train Bear to be offense. You could train Bear to be defense. You realistically could even train Bear to heal and have him start sprouting good berries from his body if you wanted.
Can I just make him stronger?
In
Or
what
no?
way? Strength? Just increase his strength score, increase his health, increase how strong?
Let's make him healthier. So let's do health.
Okay. Yeah. I would say kind of wandering about town looking for things to do with Bear as you're kind of just spending time training him, getting him to be more obedient and, just a better companion, and just kind of working with him. You happen across a sort of a menagerie of a pet store where they're selling various birds, dogs, cats, things of the nature that people can buy as house pets. None of them seem particularly useful in combat or anything, but they seem to have a good like a veterinarian almost, a individual who specializes in healing magics for animals, and they have spent an excessive amount of time in the survival of creating like a better diet. And having talked to them for a little bit, go ahead and make, we'll say, 1 persuasion check and 2 survival checks for me to see how well it goes.
And 2 survival.
Correct.
Wait. Oh shit.
Nat 20 on her second survival.
Woo! I do
Okay.
have +5 though.
Yeah, nat 20 with a +5 is a huge roll there. Persuasion goes a little bit rough. You trying to talk to somebody by yourself, Reyna is again kind of realizing is a very difficult task. But eventually you get the point across that you just want to care for Bear better, you want him to be safer, and want him to be healthier. And the veterinarian sympathizes with you and agrees to help you adjust the diet for Bear. It's not going to have any immediate effects right away, but you gather that it will have really good long-term effects that are going to be potentially very strong after it's been put into use for a while. But so they help you craft a diet for him that will make him just more resilient, tougher, harder to hit, harder to die, potentially even prolonging his lifespan by a couple to several years. And the first day of practicing cooking the new diet, which consists of certain meats that have been prepared specifically by targeting various proteins or targeting specific parts of the diet that Bear is currently lacking in. And the sort of medical science behind it is difficult for Reyna to understand at first. But after this veterinarian explains it to you in a couple different ways, Reyna starts to understand sometimes it's better to give him a little bit fattier of a diet, and other times it's better to give him only the leaner meats to balance out what kinds of nutrients he's getting. And it makes sense as a survival manner for yourself, there have been times where you've been craving various things that your body lacks, and you've now learned to identify what Bear's been missing. And so you are going to be able to, I'll say, after maybe a month or two, see pronounced growth in Bear, in both physical strength and just overall maturation and growth of Bear. So no immediate effects for something like that, but it will have pronounced long-term effects. Then jumping over to Yorglot, you were looking to finish up reading your books, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and we already did all the rolls for that, so I'm not going to make you roll. Is there anything else that you needed to read that you had thought of, or is that it? Because you have a couple more days now.
Yeah. How much time does my book reading? I know the second big book takes me an entire day to read.
Mhm.
And then I don't think I finished reading Did I finish reading the alien one or no? Oh no, I think I transcribed it, right? Or how much did I transcribe? I forget.
I think it was the entire first
Page.
50-ish pages that you finished by the end of the time you had done. But the very first one was the first page that you had finished.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna be translating that for however much time it takes I get through.
Okay. You have a working cipher at this point, so I'm not gonna make you roll to keep ciphering. I will say you get through half of the book though at this point.
Dope.
All right. And so with that, now I will go ahead and the things that people wanted to learn, or interactions throughout these downtime days that people needed to have. going back to Valzor and Ares, while you were training, there was one of the 4 days, so your third day of training, you were out there and you were training with the captain of the town's guard. And while you were training, you noticed two individuals dressed in similar-ish attire, but that looked more regal and more pronounced. And you can immediately tell that these individuals are likely palace guards. And you can tell there's some tension between the palace guards and the town's guards as they're not getting along. The palace guards seem to be trying to take over a larger portion of the training grounds than necessary. They're pushing people out of the way. They seem to be talking down to individuals, and the captain takes a break from training with you for a second and watching your training and walks over, and you can hear some louder talking of, "Excuse me, but what do you think you're doing? You have a training grounds near the palace. Why do you have the need to use ours?" "Well, anything in the city belongs to the Sultan, and so we thought it would be best to train here as the palace training grounds are taken."
I look over to Ares. I don't know if Ares is close by or not. Is she, or is she training?
Close-ish. You're both training with your own individual people, but like you're in your like eighth of the training grounds, so like you have your section that's to you two and the two people training you.
I asked my mentor really quickly, "Hey, can we take a break for a second?" And I walk over to Ares, and I yell at Ares.
Yes.
Nods.
Can you talk for a second?
Yes. Yes.
And I take her to like a little, like not out of the training area, but a little spot that's like just kind of separate from everybody, and I kind of just like whisper and like, "I don't know if you heard, but do you see the tension? I think the palace guards are kind of getting in the way of the guards here."
Yes, I do see that. What do you think we should do?
Well, nothing right now, but I think we could probably use this to our advantage. We can use this.
All right.
And I head back to training.
Okay.
After a while, you both head back to training, and the conflict between the captain and the palace guards seems to aggravate further. And it seems like the palace guards are trying to give her orders, and she stands there defiantly. "This training grounds belongs to the town's guard. If you have any problems with it, I suggest you raise it with the Sultan directly. Though, of course, I'm sure the Sultan would tell you the same thing. However, I suggest you go back to doing what you were supposed to be doing. Return to the palace before we have a problem." And she brings out her great axe. The two guards kind of stutter for a bit, kind of backtrack a few feet. "Are you sure you want to do that? Well, you might be exempt from our direct control. Your subordinates are not." She kind of grumbles a bit. "Either way, if you wish to use this facility, the proper protocol is to make a reservation, as we need our time to train as well." Eventually, the whole interaction dies down, and she makes her way back to watching over the two of you train with the individuals she has assigned to you. She kind of heaves a sigh and just sets her great axe down, leans against the wall. She looks excessively tired from the interaction, more tired than you've seen her in the entire time of watching her train. It seems like the social interaction took more out of her physically than most of her physical training. And she's just kind of talking to herself and continues watching you two train.
After training, I don't know if anything happens other than that during our training, but after training, I'd like to go up to Jen and hey Jen, what was that all about?
The palace guard seems to think that they own the town, when the palace guard is nothing more than a over-decorated army assigned to protect the Sultan. Generally, they aren't assigned any of the hard tasks, and there's very few of them that are capable. They're mainly just a formality. However, they take their positions of being close to the Sultan to mean that they have more authority than they do. And as of lately, the Sultan seems to have stopped caring as much about the people, and in turn, his guards seem to think that they can do really whatever they want, and it's been getting quite on my nerves.
That's what money does, I guess, huh? Gets to your head, makes you feel like you're in control.
I don't know if I would say it's money so much as it is
Just position?
entitlement or certain influences that have been active within the city as of late.
Either way, it doesn't seem very fair.
No, it is not.
You'd think with a big city like this that there would be more than enough space for them, but I guess not.
Well, the best part is their training grounds is large enough to house the entire palace guard and a tournament going on at one time. So they have no need for ours, but a few of them feel the need to interfere with our practice quite consistently.
I feel like I know why, but it may just be me.
She raises an eyebrow.
They probably want to try to show off or something.
If they wish to show off, they could start by showing off their manners.
Yeah, but what can you do?
I don't know, but lately I've been thinking it might be better if we just wipe the palace guard clean.
Wait, why? Oh, the palace guard, sorry. I thought you said a town guard.
No, of course not the town guard, the palace guard.
Yeah.
The lack of discipline has created some corruption within their ranks. Some of them have gotten involved with the less savory side of town, and because of that, the town's security as a whole has fallen.
Yeah, you know, if anything, I'd expect you to be one of the palace guards with, you know, how strong you are.
I've been offered many times. The Sultan has offered me quite a lot of money, in fact. It's more so that I wish to protect the people, not a singular person.
That makes a lot of sense. I think I would have done the same thing. Anyway.
Well, if you run into trouble with the palace guard, send for me. I might be of some assistance. At the very least, I can make a case on your behalf, and you don't seem like bad people. At least most of you.
Yeah, thank you for the offer. But I gotta head back to the tavern. My party's all probably waiting for me.
Alright, well, have a good day. Make sure to come back for your last day of training.
Will
Kind
do.
of waves you off.
And I head back to the tavern.
Anything Ares would like to do during this whole scenario, or no?
No, I'm training until I see him leave, and then I wrap up and leave.
All right. So you two make your way back. That is the only significant event of note that happens during your time with your training. Reina, while you are out walking with Bear, a couple things that you notice just from a survival standpoint that you didn't really notice before, but once you exit the merchants district and the craftsmen's districts where there's a lot of commerce and trade going on, and you head to the more residential or portside areas, or even maybe the less savory parts of town in just your wanderings, you start to realize there's very few people on the streets, which strikes you as unnormal. It seems like there should be more people out with how prosperous and how nice of a city this is. And from what you can tell, people seem to be avoiding traveling as much. They don't want to go anywhere that they don't have to. And there seems to be a lot less people than you initially thought as well. Thank you, Dia. I was going to get that. But as you're seeing that there's a lot less people around town, you also catch some tidbits of conversation as you're more perceptive than most. You have good instincts and you listen well, and so you're able to pick up the hidden conversations within town. And you're starting to get bits and pieces of rumors about, did you hear about Matthias? Oh yeah, the one that the palace guard came by for the other day? Yeah. Have you seen him since? No, just like all the others. Went to the palace, didn't come back. Yeah, you know, I heard the same thing about Jacob the other day. How many does that make this week? Probably about 50? 60? Yeah, and you know, it's starting to take its toll. People are leaving by the droves daily now. I mean, what can you do? It's the Sultan's guard, it's the palace guard. Say no to them, there's no telling what'll happen. Used to be the town guard would come through town and protect us, but it seems like every time they do, some of the town's guard get into a quarrel with the palace guard, and we don't see them much anymore. You know, if this keeps up for long, I think I might leave as well. Yeah, probably same here. And then at that point, they begin to notice Bear, and they notice you, and they stop talking, and they meander back inside. And you get the feeling as you travel through town, this isn't just an isolated occurrence between these few people that you met this one day, but on multiple days of wandering around the town, you catch multiple conversations that are similar to this as you're keeping your ears open and paying attention. Is there anything that you would like to do in particular regarding that, Reina?
Like, I'm headed back, right?
If you want to be, yeah.
Yeah, I want to head back to, like, where everyone is. Or the inn.
Okay. Then you get the information, you take note of it, and you begin heading back to where everyone is. Yorglot, about the third day that you go to read in the library, an unusual sight floats past you. A sight you are familiar with. The sight of a ghost-like individual that you've spoken to before in the palace enchanter.
Shit. Okay. He just like floats by?
Yeah, she comes into the library and floats past you. And just seems to keep moving.
I guess I'll follow her for a little bit.
Okay. As you follow her... Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
God. Okay. That's a whole ass 7.
Oop.
I am so glad that we are not seeking to the palace today.
Yeah.
Okay. You do not feel like you are quiet. In fact, it feels like the person that was sent to keep an eye on you doesn't lose track of you and sees you get up and follows. And so they're a bit behind you, but they keep wandering, and the ghost keeps just minding her own business. She heads to about the back left of the library. And as you're watching, she gets to the back left of the library, goes to a bookshelf, and just goes through it.
God. I checked the other side.
The bookshelf is on a wall. Sorry, I should have been more specific about that.
Oh. I go check where. I go check where she went through the wall. Like
Check house show.
Well, first I guess just at like first glance, but then I kind of want to cast detect magic, but I don't know if that's gonna be okay with the guy there. I can't remember if detect magic was okay or not.
Okay. As you kind of glance at the bookshelf, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. It's a 10.
The bookshelf seems normal at a glance. You don't see anything immediately odd about it. And as you begin to cast detect magic and you begin going through the components for it, you're just casting this at will? Do you have to ritual cast it, or is it like instant cast?
No, it's just instant. I get to cast it as many times as
Okay.
I want.
It would still have like its verbal and somatic components to it, but just it would take
Yeah.
only the 6 seconds. As it casts, unlike the rest of the library, it seems like any arcane effects fizzle here and don't activate.
Damn. Just here in this spot?
Just this section of the library.
Okay. I go to the end of the bookshelf where I was, and I want to do it again and look at the spot.
Within 30 feet or outside of 30 feet?
Like right at the edge of 30 feet. I imagine, was the bookshelf longer than 30 feet?
Yeah, these bookshelves are massive.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah, within the 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah, as you begin to cast, if you're within the 30 feet, it fizzles again.
Jesus. Okay. I go outside of the bookshelf, however far that is,
It works.
and I start walking into the bookshelf.
It fizzles.
Okay. Can I read what the books, like the names of the books are at the bookshelf where she went through?
Yeah, you begin to look at the bookshelf, and you notice something odd now that you're focused on the books on the bookshelf. What you've noticed on the bookshelf is that your first glance, your perception check of this bookshelf, you didn't pay attention to the titles of the books, but you looked at like the sort of the colors, the theme. There's definitely something up with this bookshelf now that you're looking at it closer and examining the titles, as they're not what you originally saw.
What? Like they changed since
Yeah,
the last
all
time?
of the books are just different.
And that guy's still with me, right?
Yep, he's just kind of watching.
I wanna like kind of like discreetly like turn around and look at the other bookshelf for a minute, and then after like 5 seconds turn back to the other bookshelf.
Okay. You take your focus off of that bookshelf again for 5 seconds. You look at the other bookshelf. And as you turn back around, again, the books have changed.
What the fuck? I want to pull one of the books down. Doesn't matter which one, just one of them.
As you reach to try to grab one of the books, you don't feel a book. You feel, in fact, nothing.
Okay. I turn to the guy, and I want to say, am I holding my 2 big books that I was reading, or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I give the one that I've already read to him. I say, I've already read this. I'm gonna pick a new one. Can you put this back? I don't know where it goes.
Sure. I can do that later.
Okay.
He stands there.
Damn, didn't even get anything to try it.
No, he knows exactly what you're up to.
So he knows about this thing?
He's kind of just sitting there. He doesn't immediately look smug, but he has that look of like, mm-hmm.
Well, shit. Okay. Nobody else is like here at the back of this, at the back, right?
No, in fact, it feels less like no one's here and more like no one is aware that there's something here at all. More like there's a ward preventing people that they don't want to see something here, don't ever notice. Kind of like a perception ward where it just doesn't exist to them, even though it's right in front of them.
Okay. Then I'll look at him real quick, and I'm gonna hand him all the books that I have, and then just walk through the bookshelf.
Almighty.
As you walk through the bookshelf, you make your way through, and the light immediately is dimmer. This is not well lit. It is a dark hallway, long, made of stone, with sort of blue arcane torches lining the walls, with an sort of burnished, almost charred black door at the end of the hallway. And the man follows behind you and enters.
Oh, Jesus. I start walking down the hallway. Get up.
As you walk down, the door gets more and more clear to you, and you begin to notice that the black door at the end of the hallway has 2 sort of like gargoyle-like heads carved into the wall, both looking across the hallway.
Okay, I stop before that. And like fucking, it only takes 6 seconds to cast detect magic again.
It still fizzles. You are not allowed to. You can tell very clearly something is preventing any amount of arcane gestures right now. At the very least, detect magic.
Yeah. I mean, I'll touch one of the gargoyles without going past it and try identify, I guess.
As you place your hand on the gargoyle, you feel magic, but identify fizzles.
Fuck. Okay. I just like ready myself and walk through the gargoyle heads.
As you do, nothing happens.
That's scarier. Alright, I go up to the door.
The individual carrying your books is just following behind you. You make it to the door. As you look at the door, there's again, it's sort of a charred, blackish iron.
So
And the handle looks like it's made of like a thorn bush.
Ugh. Okay. And I like use use my staff to like pull it open. So I'm not grabbing a thorn bush.
As you try to pull with your staff, the individual behind you is just standing there watching, and you kind of pull on it, and you hear like the "it's locked" sound.
Oh.
And you gather it's not going to open with your staff.
Fuck. Okay. Yorglot like rubs his hands together, kind of looks back at the guy behind him.
He's said nothing, he's saying nothing, he's doing nothing.
And I just grab the door handle. Does it
Make
turn?
a Constitution saving throw for me.
Fuck. Fuck, I'm not good at that.
Uh-oh.
13? Only
Alright.
+1. God.
As you touch the thorny door, thorns sprout from this handle and jab into your hands.
Ugh, like they
You take-
come out?
Yeah, they
Okay.
like come out of the handle. You take
What's that
exactly
called? What the fuck?
28 points of damage,
Holy shit!
reducing you to 1.
Are
You
you
gather that this
joking?
door automatically reduces whoever touches it to 1,
What?
and the blood flows down the handle and into the locking mechanism, and you hear the door click as if it's unlocked.
What the fuck?
I open the door and let go.
Okay.
You're gonna go. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear her through my mic, but I think this is hilarious because she's like verbally like struggling right now.
Oh my god.
Okay, you go through the door, and as you open the door, it opens into a large room, dark, black, and you can see around the room sort of obsidian stone tables with sort of like a cracked looking appearance to them. Bookshelves with obsidian tomes on them, not books. And in the center, a large sort of prismatic orb that has what appears to be a blue
How big's the ball? Is it like pearl sized or?
it's like 40-foot sized.
Oh my god. I don't see the ghost anywhere.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. I try detect magic again.
Still fizzles.
Damn, which means I can't use fucking potions on it. Are the tables close to the big fucking ball of death, or?
They seem close-ish.
And then I don't see anything else in this room.
Not at the moment, but sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Nope, that's a 6. It was at 14, and it was like, no.
No, but you do hear whispers in the far, far distance.
Okay. Is the guy still behind me, or did he stop at the
Yeah,
door?
no, he's following.
Oh my god. Yorglot will start to walk over to one of the tables.
Okay.
Oh fuck. And he'll open one of the tomes.
As you open one of the tomes, you feel a hand on your shoulder from behind you. Not the individual that's been watching you, as he's in the corner of your vision right now.
Oh god.
Not the ghost, as it feels physical, and not like when you interacted with them previously, but familiar.
Oh no.
Ah, Yorglot, it's nice to see you. You hear Caleb's voice behind you.
Oh no.
I quickly turn around. Hello, Colin.
It's good that you're here. I had asked them to give you access, and I was hoping that they would not deny you.
Your access almost killed me.
Oh, that's just a part of opening the door. I have to deter curious eyes, you know.
And what's that thing? And he points over to the big blue ball.
That is a snarl. A sort of knotted, tangled mass of arcane energy.
Well, what is this place?
This is the forbidden section.
The forbidden section of the library?
Indeed.
So these... And he kind of like puts a hand on one of the obsidian tomes. Are these part of the forbidden books?
Yes.
Who else is here?
Well, Charlene, one of the ghosts from the enchanter that you're familiar with. Like I said, he's a friend of mine. I don't know if you noticed, but no one perceives them except those who they wish to perceive them. When they're in the shop, they're visible to anybody. When they leave, you were the only one who was able to see her. And of course, the individual that is escorting you today. But no one else was able to.
And Yorglot's gonna start like slowly walking around, just looking at the place while talking to Caleb. And I thought you could only come here with permission from the Sultan.
Or an ascendant.
Well, how many tables are there of these black books?
So there's many shelves, and there's around 10 tables.
And the shelves are chock full of these books as well?
Some seem more empty than others. Some seem like a couple of the tomes have been broken and pieced back together. But yes, multiple shelves of these tomes seem to exist.
So I'm allowed to read here?
If you can. And he kind of looks down at the tome that you had placed your hand on.
I walk over to it and look inside.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Oh god. Please. 13?
It seems to be magical lettering, and you have no idea what's supposed to be there, but all you are reading right now appears to be some form of a romance novel. But you get the feeling that is definitely not what's actually written here.
They're hidden.
He shrugs.
I go over to another book on a table and open it up. Is it the same thing?
This one seems to be dramatic comedy. Again, arcane. You do not get the true meaning. You can tell there's magic at work, but
I pull a book off of a random shelf nearby.
this one seems to be a fictional recreation of how unicorns cease to exist in this world.
I can see
Unfortunately, there is no way that I can just grant you the ability to read here, but I can grant you access to be here. Of course, you can do research here. The snarl is quite an interesting thing. He looks up at the large 40-foot glowing orb of arcane energy.
What does it do?
What do they do? That's a broad question. This one in particular, he makes some arcane gestures, and you can tell that this particular spell he was about to cast, this fireball, it fizzles. All magic within around 300 feet fails to activate. Including higher spells. I don't believe I could even, if I knew it, cast Wish here. Magic in general just does not exist in this area, as it drains all magic into itself.
That reminds me of one of my travels I just recently went on. It was first time I'd ever seen something like it. It had a similar effect. I didn't know what caused it though.
Well, this is the only snarl that I'm aware of that does this, though there are other things that can do this.
For somebody like me who uses mostly magic, it's a scary thing.
Indeed. But, like I said, it's good that you're here. While you're here, I wanted to ask you, did you tell your party about everything we talked about?
Everything that they needed to know.
About the other realm?
Yes.
About the forces that they're interacting with?
Yes. Everything about the Sultan and what he's doing. And we're planning right now. We were going to come meet you in a couple days.
What did you tell them about Spirit Rot?
Well, I told him that it was less a disease and more a byproduct of the two realms. What you told me, you know the only part that I left out.
Little bit vague, little bit cryptic, but I guess whether you tell them or not, there'll come a time when they'll learn everything that I've told you. But this is also good for me. I am glad that you are able to come in here now, as I would appreciate it if when we talked about the plans, that you could bring your party here. As since it drains all magic, this area is immune to divination from even the most powerful of ascendants on this realm.
Well, we all have to open the door, or just one of us.
Well, did he have to open the door? And he gestures to the person just watching you.
I don't believe so, but he's been pretty sneaky.
Then I can explain. No, just one person needs to open the door.
Alright. Then we'll meet you here in a couple days. I think 3 or 4.
All right.
I'm gonna try to read these as best I can after I'm done with my current books.
Good luck on that. It wasn't until I turned 50 that I was able to read these.
Luckily I'm 50 now, so
That was 30 years of reading.
I'm trying to make light of the situation, okay?
I appreciate the effort, but this is not going to be easy.
And Yorglot's gonna walk over to his helper and grab the books that he was working on and sit down at one of the desks and start reading there instead.
All right. And you keep reading until the group reconvenes at the tavern. I will say, for expediency's sake, having done all of this extra stuff, is there anything that anyone has now thought of that they want to do?
I just wanted to ask what is in the fucking Sir Sage's place.
From the room that you are allowed in, just appears to be potions and alchemical research of all sorts.
Okay, good to know. That's about it.
Were you about to ask something, Ares?
Nope.
Anybody else? Okay.
I'm all good.
Fourth day rolls around. You have now received all of your magical items. Your orders have been fulfilled. So go ahead and equip, attune, and do everything you need to for those items.
It's like Christmas.
Except we paid for it.
Hellfire Chainlands, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Alright. So, end of the fourth day. What would you all like to do?
Hold on. Quick question. The Brimstone Lance, is that also something I have to attune to? It's showing up there, but I don't know if that was meant to be like
Yes.
that. Okay.
It is an attunable item.
Cool.
Dope.
Dope. Yep.
Love all that shit. That's just going crazy.
I now have a 25 armor class.
Alright,
What
so
the
I gotta take a piss real quick.
Okay, done.
Okay.
Go, quick,
Quick.
fast.
Quick.
We have 20
Less than 30
left.
minutes. Yes.
Wait, can I explain to the group of like what I heard?
Go, of course.
Yeah.
Where you're all reconvened now, and you can all talk about that.
You want to say it in your own words? Oh, okay.
Reina like does charades.
Aww.
Yeah.
Can we
does
understand
charades.
these charades? I don't know if we
Let's
need
Do we have to roll an intelligence check to understand?
I want to roll it actually. Can I?
Oh my god, wait, hold on.
Okay, so if you want to
No.
make it a roll-based thing to see how well Reina can charade this, go ahead and make a performance check first.
Wait, what?
A performance check.
Performance check.
Okay.
It's in the
Oh,
skills.
shit. I have -1.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
8.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Then for the other individuals, go ahead and make an insight, investigation, or sleight of hand check of your choice.
I'm gonna
Investigation for me.
I'm doing
So,
investigation as well. Ah,
Explain it.
6!
I'm doing charades, so we're doing charades for me.
We're trying to understand Reina and her charades, and she rolled an 8 because she has a -1 to performance.
What are we rolling?
We are either rolling,
Investigation, insight, or sleight of hand. Your choice.
and we rolled like shit. I'm so
did
glad
it.
that.
That's a 19.
Hey, do you
What
want
if I'm
to
not
try to
there?
see? Yeah, I was like, you
Oh
want
my
to try
god,
to see?
not one of my
Oh my
sleight of
goodness,
No,
hand.
Really?
actually, no. Hold on.
God damn.
Yorglot, being extremely proficient investigating, you realize that you're almost overthinking this.
Oh.
Oh my
Balzor and
god.
Reneen, your mind is just not on the same wavelength as Reina's. Ares, you seem to be perfectly in tune. You both rolled 8s. You will just instantly understand whatever Reina is trying to convey.
Oh my
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
So you did it like that.
Natural.
Oh my
That's cool.
god.
That's hilarious.
Imagine being too smart.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that fits your
Me Vals were confused. Hey, Reina, could you use your words?
She did use her words. They're
What?
perfectly understandable.
Wait, you
I have a feeling that
understood
Eris
that?
and Yorglot are gonna
Oh,
be
good.
fighting over what Reina was saying because Yorglot's overthinking and Eris actually knows what she's saying.
She nods at what Aries and like content.
I try my best to translate.
So what did you actually say?
We're
Like
explaining about what I heard.
From
on
those
the
guys
how would
about-
Reina would explain it in simple terms? Bad things happening?
People disappearing?
People gone. Bad. That's what I-
outside people bad. Wait, what was it? Druids? What are they?
People within the town disappearing because of the Sultan's Guard. Town's Guard fighting with Sultan's Guard. People are leaving
Yeah,
town.
but and then people dying from what? The people outside, the dead people?
They didn't say what was causing that. They just know that that's happening.
I thought I heard that. Yeah.
She's definitely trying to tell us the woes of humanity and the conflict and other races.
Yorglot, I don't know.
You slam.
Um,
Wait, no. Outside the window, can you see the Sultan's house?
From the roof, because you have the penthouse like tavern inn. Yeah.
He grabs Benin and Yorglot and Balzor and goes to the roof, and she points at the Sultan's house and she says, "Bad."
I love Reina. Oh.
Oh my god. Oh, that's what you were going on about.
Speaking of which,
Yes, that is bad. But
Like-
I imagine Eris is now gonna speak up, saying, "I understood what she said."
She already has.
Okay.
Yeah.
speaking of which, do we want to go tonight? You all have your stuff, don't you?
We have not established the plan, so no.
No, I'm talking to go meet to make the plan.
Oh, that. Yes. I thought you. You said. You said it as if we're gonna go into the palace now, which would be bad.
Hold on.
Anyways.
What time is it in the day? Is it like still really early in the day?
Like 9 o'clock at night. It's
Oh.
the end of the fourth day.
So here's the thing. Valzor,
Yeah.
do you remember who this woman was that approached you? Which
Convenient timing. You hear a knock at the door.
oh,
Oh.
Oh, I'll get
speak
that.
of the devil.
Yorglot is prepping his bracers.
I open up the door. Hello?
You see the individual that's followed you to the room last time.
Oh my god. Hello. Welcome.
Hi, did you consider what I said anymore? I just want to know.
Actually, do you want to just hop in for a second? And
Oh, you're inviting me in this time? Sure.
Oh.
Am I in the room?
yeah.
We're all in the
we're
room.
all there.
Okay.
So I did, I closed the door behind her, and I like,
Well, he's not alone. You hear Renine
Yeah.
say across the room.
I did talk
Oh,
to my
that's
party.
fine. I don't mind.
No, hey,
That
stop it.
Stop what?
That,
I've done nothing. I've just accepted your invitation.
Okay,
Valzor,
well,
this
yes.
person.
This is the person that gave me that mission, the other mission to go to the palace.
Oh, well, yes. Truly, speak of the devil.
Oh.
What is your name? If you don't mind us asking.
My name's Aranaya.
Fuck, how do you spell that? Uh, uh, excuse me?
I put it in Discord, and
Aranaya.
I'm also going to put it in chat for the sake of people watching.
Aranaya. Okay.
Wow. Beautiful.
All right. Well, Aranaya, do you have anything else that you could tell us about the person that we need to find?
Are you taking the request?
Yeah.
At this point,
She has not looked away from Valzor this whole time.
oh,
Yeah, that's actually what I was just about to say. Is that yeah, because we actually have another mission at the palace. So 2 in 1.
Oh, what
You-
kind of mission?
you see Runine being like,
The other mission I cannot tell. My lips are sealed.
Way to tell her by not telling her. God.
Yeah.
Oh, so something secretive?
eh.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, if you don't trust me, I can just be on my way.
This person that you need saving.
You're the one that came to us for a mission, so
What does she look like?
Huh. If I had to describe her, she looks like fire. Her hair is red to orange to yellow, almost like that of a flame. Her eyes are sort of a golden orange. Her skin is fair, slightly pale. She has been rumored to be the most beautiful person in the palace, second only to that of the princess. She carries around a tall obsidian staff with a blazing ruby centered at the top of it. Generally can be seen wearing a sort of traditional desert dancer's attire or something of the nature. Do you need more, or is that enough?
What about a name?
Her name is Ember.
Ember. That makes a lot of sense.
What's more than you would know?
uh-huh.
What, next you're gonna tell me she has an affinity for fire magic?
Oh, if only you knew the half of it.
What? What? Okay.
Oh, right?
Does that really matter to saving her?
No. I was just... A lot of things really match up.
Yes.
That's all.
The point is, yes. We'll take the job. What's the payment?
I can't offer you much. I work at a tavern. I don't have a lot of money. I think she might be better suited to pay you, though. She has an ancestry that makes her quite good at granting that which people desire.
Well, I believe Valzor told us that Ember is bound to the Sultan. How do we unbind her from the Sultan?
Well, it's not like she's bound. It's...
No, it is very much like she is bound. Tell me, what do you all know of genies?
What do we
Do
all
I-
know of genies?
What do we all know of genies?
If you're talking fairy tales, all of you, with the exception of maybe Reyna, who did not really have much of a childhood per se, would have heard a fairy tale, at least one, about a genie. That they're individuals of great power that grant wishes, generally bound to some form of an object that is their home, so to speak. That the most powerful forms are considered some of the higher beings in this world, capable of being patrons for warlocks even.
Does anybody know anything more than just fairy tales? Or do I? I should ask. I guess I can't really ask for other people.
Yes, me too. I don't know. History for me?
Okay, I'll go down the road. I know Yorglot and Runine, I'm already going to make this roll. Reyna, have you listened to a lot of stories?
Just in general? What?
Yeah, just like generic, have you been interested in tales of random powerful people or, history, things like that, fiction? Or does she just not really care for that sort of a thing?
She doesn't care.
Okay.
About
You like
that.
fairy tales?
It depends. Is it about animals or
Oh.
Okay, so no. You know a lot about animals, I'll give you that. You have good fairy tales around that. Around genies, not so much. Valzor, would you have been interested in that sort of thing?
No, not really. The only type of fairy tales and tales of woe that I would have been associated with were more around just what I did as a job back home, which would have been like
So like
people
Beauty and the
hunting.
Beast, but where Gaston is the hero?
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
That is a wonderful example, I gotta say.
That is beautiful. I would want to read that.
I mean, to be fair, let's look at that whole scenario. Literally, like Stockholm Syndrome 101, where the hunter who
Yeah.
tries to save this woman that's been captured by this beast turns out to be the villain for killing the beast that enslaved her.
Yeah.
Anyhow, sorry if I just ruined anyone's impression of Beauty and the Beast in chat.
Oh my.
Aries, how about you? Would you have been interested in that sort of like fantasy sort of genre just to keep your time passed as your aristocratic background, or nah?
Well, because I know I was around a lot of like people, like traders and stuff, so I probably would have heard like whatever tales they would have talked about, just through passively just like hanging around them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
Okay, then I will say that you can make a history check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Yorglot, you can make a religion or a history check.
Okay.
Runine, I will say you can make an arcana or a history check. Because you
Same stats for everything.
didn't know if you were proficient in one or the other.
Nope.
I'm
Okay. I
proficient
rolled
in
a
Arcana
7.
and Religion. That's okay. They're both +2 anyways.
I did a 7.
That's a 20.
I got 16.
Not a natural 20, but a 20.
Alright.
Okay. So, Runine, well, we'll start with Eris, since she was the lowest, because disadvantage. You, at the very least, know that genies don't function as how we understand them in the real, like, in IRL. Genies in this world don't necessarily have a limited number of wishes that they can grant a person. It is more so long as you hold their lamp, they are your servant. They do your bidding, and if you treat them poorly, they will generally monkey's paw your wish. If you treat them well, they generally will not.
Okay.
And the way they fulfill wishes is that they can create or recreate magical effects of really any form that they feel best suits your wish, but it's limited to how many times per day and how strong of a magical effect it can be based off of the strength of the genie. You also know that stronger genies generally don't exist outside of fantasy tales, and that the only genies people have ever spoken about existing within your realm, within the world you live, are very weak at best, like the lowest of the totem pole for genies that live within this realm.
Okay.
Runine, you know all of that, and then you also know that of the genies that exist in this realm, that they are generally regarded with very high regard and generally attend to very powerful people, normally by choice, not by servitude. And then Yorglot, you also know that, but then you also know on top of that that the name Ember does not sound like a genie you've ever heard of, at the very least. And more so than that, that you have not heard of a genie that specializes in a particular element in such a manner.
Okay.
Well, I know that they exist, but they're much smaller and aren't actually, purposefully or forcefully, I mean, serve someone. So the fact that she's forcefully serving one is pretty bad.
It means that somebody stronger than the genie is in control. I've also never heard of the Ember name or genies with affinity towards types of magic. But I am not a know-all of genies.
Well, all in all, I would give you all a passing grade on that knowledge. Strictly speaking, Ember is not a genie. She is half. Much like one might be a half-elf.
Alright.
And
Ooh.
generally, genies are bound to some form of item.
Correct. And
If
she
she is-
is
Obviously
Correct.
bound to the Sultan. And
not to
that's
the Sultan in that regard. She is bound to a lamp to which the Sultan possesses. Half
This is
genies,
what-
as they mature, can choose whether they wish to inherit the powers of their genie ancestors, or can choose whether they wish to distance themselves from it. In her case, she seems to have a very strong affinity for her ancestors, making it harder for her to resist the person that holds her, as fairy tales would put it, lamp. Now, strictly speaking, it does not have to be a lamp. It can be a bottle, it can be a lamp, it can be a teapot. Some people even choose that of pendants. Really, anything that can contain something within it can be her item of choice.
and
I
what
do
is-
not know what hers is. I have never been allowed to see it. The Sultan keeps that very, very well hidden. But if you wish to free her, there's really 2 or 3 options. 1, you steal the item. 2, you kill the Sultan. 3, you break the item. Breaking the item will hurt her. But if you can't get it from the Sultan's hands, maybe that is the best option.
like hurt her how? Like she goes down already or
Don't know.
mm,
All I know is that it will hurt her.
mm. So it's kind of like a last resort.
The better question is that after we do get her, where do we bring her?
I don't care. Out of the palace. She's a friend. She's unfortunately not as close as I would like to be with her, but I have not had many chances to interact with her. But she seems sad. She seems hopeless, and I do not wish for her to live like that. And I know she has a place to be. And I don't know where it is, but the brief time I have spoken with her, that place is very much not the palace.
Not
Oh,
the
right.
palace.
Aye.
I'd imagine she'd tell you more if she's free to.
After we do this, it sounds like we're gonna have to get out of here.
Obviously. Alright. If
Eh.
the opportunity arises, we'll grab her, try to save her somehow.
I have a strange feeling that if we were to steal the item from the Sultan, he might not actually have it within his grasp. So, that's a thing
From
to
what
keep
I've heard,
track
it is very rare for him to not have it.
not have. So he
A
probably has.
half-genie cannot turn against their lamp wielder.
Oh,
If he were to not have it in his possession, she could turn against him.
never
it is
mind.
rare that he does not
Mhm.
carry it around.
Okay then, he does carry it. Okay. Alright, well,
If you could please see yourself out. I understand this is an emotional thing for you, but we do have things to talk about.
Of course.
thank you
Before you do whatever you're going to do in the palace, I will prepare a meal. It will help you.
Is it a
Much
meal that I make?
appreciated.
We
Sorry.
appreciate it.
Yes, thank
She-
you.
Nods her head. Also, when you're done, if you do not have to leave, I would love to talk to you some more, Valzor.
Oh my god.
He leaves.
Oh, well, Valzor, it seems, you got a lady?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Don't be ashamed. You don't have to lie.
Balzor's tail is just like kind of rapidly hitting the floor.
Oh,
Thump,
you're
thump.
just like wagging your tail.
Not wagging it, it's just it lifts up and like goes back down.
That's wagging your tail. What do you mean?
He's stomping his tail, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, more like
Okay.
The
stomping.
huge thumper over here getting
Yes.
excited.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Anyways, we have more important things to talk about.
Yes,
Those are lovely.
Alright.
yes, that's true.
So,
We need to start heading to the meeting.
oh, we're not gonna talk about, oh, alright. Let's go then.
Talk about plans there. That's the point of the meetup.
Oh, alright. Alright. Okay. Then let's go. Where are we going? She looks to Yorglot.
Yeah, Yorglot just starts walking and says, "Follow me."
Don't jump off the balcony. We can't follow you off of the balcony.
He's
I
not
can't.
looking out the door.
Good.
You exit. You make your way, I presume, to the library.
Yes.
As you do, and you walk up to pay, the individual waves you off.
And like to go away.
Like, just enter. Don't
Oh,
pay.
okay, yeah. I nod at
Oh.
him and I shake my head for everybody to follow me. And I walk inside the library.
Who did you sleep with?
I ignore Ares' comment and keep walking to the back left of the library.
Oh, is Ares already wearing the maid outfit, by the way?
Yep.
Fuck.
She got it on now.
I
And
do.
I walk to the bookshelf, to the spot that I remember, and I look at everybody and I just walk straight through the bookshelf.
Vernine is like expecting a face plant, is a little bit sad she's not seeing a face plant, but she goes, She follows.
Dude, Yorglot's legitimately Harry Potter.
Yo, I walk up to the place that Yorglot went through it, and I just start poking it.
Do 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 do.
And I feel.
I just I full trust just walk into it as well.
Arms spread out, going inside.
Me still not sure. I just like kind of use my tail to like whack it.
No,
I would have
never.
really hoped that Aries like misjudged where this was and just hit her fucking face on the bookshelf.
I slammed face first.
Oh, here
It's
was I
the-
was thinking. When Bowser whipped his tail, does he accidentally whip Aries?
Oh my god.
I don't know if it's
Anyhow.
that long.
So you know,
You-
he pushes Balzor in.
Oh my god.
Pushes-
Ah!
Hey!
Okay. Does she follow afterwards, or is she just like,
Yeah.
"Ha, I pushed you in," and then just sits there?
She follows.
As everybody gets through, Yorglot starts walking down the long hallway.
Well, this is not eerie at all. What is this place?
I was just about to say the same thing. What the? This was behind that bookshelf the whole time?
And I recommend you don't tell people about it.
I kind of figured.
Yeah.
As we get to the door,
The individual who literally just starts out the last conversation with, "We have another mission at the palace."
Look! Conversation is not my forte.
No, not at all.
Jesus.
What is your charisma again?
-2.
Yeah. This is why he's not
Anyhow.
supposed to die.
We get to the door, Yorglot pulls back his hood, and he's a little nervous. You can see he's kind of a little nervous, and
Oh.
this shit hurts. Okay.
You
Why is
could
he
ask
nervous?
Runeen.
This shit hurts.
Nah.
Oh, well, okay. He wants to be a big boy. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Take
he's,
it.
He's not gonna like make you like almost die. Like he doesn't mind small pranks, but he's not gonna be like, "Hey, kill yourself opening this door."
Yeah, but it's a constitution save, so that's... Aren't you already at 1 HP? Actually, hold on a
No, no.
second.
No, it's been days, so.
Oh,
he's
okay.
back.
A minute.
And he reaches out and grabs the door handle.
Okay, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
It's a 16.
This time it doesn't hurt. You still take 28 points of damage.
Oof.
Oh.
Cut.
I just see this huge explosion of blood from his hand.
Are
The-
you
the-
alright?
the
Are
vines
you
and
are you
spikes
adapting my
still happen.
magic, or is that supposed to happen?
He slowly opens the door. Get in.
What the fuck was that?
Do you need healing?
Oh.
Oh, all right.
While I'm walking
Fine.
past him
You're-
on the way in.
Runeen starts pushing everyone inside.
While I'm walking past him, I do the whole "I'm watching you" thing with his hand.
Once everybody's in, Yorglot goes in.
Having entered, you are now all in this room, and you all see the sort of obsidian tables, bookshelves, the tablets, the large 40-foot mass of arcane energy encased in a prismatic orb. And at the table, you see
No one knows him.
an individual that you recall having been described in the journal.
Oh shit, that's where he came from.
Yorglot walks past everyone and sits down at the table. Well, I recognize him, right? Or are you just saying that?
Yes, you recognize
Okay, yeah.
him.
Wait, from the golden baby journal?
Yes. You
Oh.
also see a Goliath woman sitting with him.
Oh, what?
And with
Yeah.
him, one person that you're not familiar with either, Yorglot,
What?
a cloaked Kenku.
That's dope. That's dope.
It's
Okay,
a Kenku?
He walks
Sorry.
up to the table and
What?
sits down.
What the fuck's that?
What's a
Ken-
kenku?
do you want to describe what his kenku is?
So a kenku is like a crow-like person. They are feathered, bird-like beak, bird eyes. They are flightless creatures, but not because of their inability to fly, but because they were cursed by the Raven Queen to not be able to fly. They can only speak through mimicry, and they are unable to have any unique original ideas for themselves, and instead only have ideas that others have given to them.
Oh.
Their amount of speech that they are able to do generally is very limited depending on their age. Younger kenkus can barely mimic what other people say. So for example, if somebody said hello, you might hear it say hello back in their voice, and that would be it. And they would not understand what hello meant. They could just parrot the sentence as it was said. Older kenkus begin to start stringing sentences together to get their points across. So like they might hear Ares say hello, and then they might hear Valzor say, how are you? And so then they might be able to, in Ares' voice, and then following immediately after Valzor's voice, go, hello, how are you?
It's really sad because Kenku's only lived to be like 30 or 40. So.
But really old Kenku get to the point where they could potentially string together entire conversations.
We're the same.
Do you know what a Goliath is, Mitty?
No.
Okay.
It is a slightly larger humanoid creature, normally around 6-7 plus feet tall, if not more. Large, very heavy set, generally very muscular, and this one is particularly muscular, even among that of giants. They generally have tribal-like tattoos, some of which could look, say, Avatar: The Last Airbender-ish, with like the arrows and stuff. Others do like war paints, things of this nature. This one in particular, don't notice as many tattoos as what Goliath would normally have. She does have some, but they're rather hidden under her clothing at the moment and hard to discern. One thing that you do notice is that they, of the three here, all have, well, two have the Kenku and Caleb sort of glowing crimson eyes. And the Goliath has glowing radiant gold eyes.
Like mine.
What the fuck?
Okay, before we get a little bit too far, I don't know if we want to leave it here or just go a little bit farther.
That is up to you, my friend. You are the one that needs to speak.
I think because we just got to the planning room, I feel like that's a good stopping point. A little bit of a cliffhanger, but a good stopping point.
All right.
That is where you would like to end it.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the short session today. I really wish I didn't work tonight, but unfortunately I do.
You could just cough and say you're sick of work.
Yeah, I know, right?
I already. No, I called in earlier this week because I thought I
You're
had
fine.
strep. I did not, unfortunately.
Don't listen to your DM. Your DM's a bad influence.
Yeah, don't listen to them.
But thank you as always, Adelorn, for DMing. I think next time, then I guess it will be D that's streaming, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. Order would be Mitty, but it depends if she is busy with work or not.
If not, I could do it.
What? When? Oh yeah, next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, the next session.
Probably I can.
Dope,
Okay.
dope.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Now go find someone to read.
Yeah. Thank you guys, everybody that stopped by. If you guys want to stick around when I find somebody to read, that would be great. Holy moly, we got a lot of things to do. And I'm glad we finally got our magic items. It was like Christmas.
Yo, that shit gonna be crazy.
Yo,
Oh my god.
Right.
I feel so
I am a
happy
moving
to
tank.
finally have utility.
What's up?
I said I'm so happy to finally have utility.
Dude, I have nothing of like apparent use.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's
Coroner's
I-
streaming.
This is
You
your
wanted it made
decision.
out?
Yeah,
making.
this was your own decision. You had time to freaking think of something. But no,
No
this is what you
time.
thought of. This is your end result.
Yeah, I'm proud.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll pick up
Okay.
where you fall off.
Well, we're the most stealthiest, so I think we'll be fine. I'm worried about them.
Yeah, I'm pretty stealthy.
All right.
That
We're
is
gonna be
if we're gonna be
raiding Coroner. He's a deliver bird. He plays fighting games and everything, and right now he's currently. Oh my God. Oh no, he just hosted. No. Never mind. We're not raiding. Ah. God damn it. Okay.
There's okay, well, I'm sure there's more. There's a lot of people on today.
I do not have anybody on, so if you guys have any suggestions, that'd be great.
Oh,
Uh,
there's Voltsy, there's Moxie Chan for me. Moxie Chan being the smaller one.
What are they playing?
They're doing
is
art.
playing Pokemon. Moxie's art.
Voltsy is Pokemon, yeah.
Do you want to put it in the chat?
Oh, the names
Yeah. I'll just
Voltsy
raid either of one of them.
is the Pokemon. While Moxie _ Chen is doing art.
Okay, we'll raid Moxie then. Copy. Okay. Hopefully they are not ending stream. Oh my God.
I guess I should go
That's my
check.
least-
Eh?
That's my least favorite part of raiding is when you're like, "Ooh, this person's on. I'm gonna raid them." Crap.
Crap.
No, they aren't ending stream yet.
Okay,
They actually
cool.
just started.
Cool. All right. Well, so Moxie, some love and make sure to give them some support. Oh my God. Next session will be session 19, where we probably are going to storm the palace.
Yeah.
Thank you
If we
guys for
survive.
joining. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
See ya.